Hi, I'm very excited to talk to you about Medicare today. This video is intended to be like a 40,000-foot overview of Medicare. So this is a video intended for those that are somewhat familiar with it. Just want to make sure we're on the same page prior to our consultation. If you're brand new to Medicare and never really learned anything about it, I do have a more in-depth video, and that one would probably be more appropriate for you. But without further ado, let me share my screen, and we will get rocking and rolling. I'm going to hide those. It's a little disclosure that Medicare requires at the beginning. And then as far as about me, my name is Tim. If you are looking for a local representative, you're in luck. I will be one, at least for a little bit. I'm a full-time RVer, and I live where I park it. I've got a beautiful wife who homeschools our two awesome kids, and I have the world's most okayest dog. She's sweet as honey, but pretty timid. And I am an insurance broker that focuses on the four main staples for retirees. So Medicare, life insurance, long-term care options, and then also the asset protection where you participate in the gains of the market, but never the losses, and you can't lose the money to things that aren't your fault. Two quotes that I try to live by, far from perfect, but do my best, is those with good intentions make promises, those with good character keep them. I try to show that I have character, not just intentions. And then this is a big one. This is the hardest one, but I do strive for it every day, is I live my life so those that know me but don't know Christ want to know Christ simply because they know me. When it comes to Medicare, the first step is to sign up with A and B. You may already have that. These are the ways to sign up. I can always walk you through that as well. And you do that portion directly through the government. Once you get A and B established, then it's decision time. We can go with either option A or option one, which is going to be keeping original Medicare as primary, getting a supplement or a secondary insurance, and then a separate prescription drug plan, or signing up for one of those advantage plans where a private company kind of takes over as primary and you just have the co-pays. I'm going to go in more detail on that in just a second. As far as what does Medicare cost you, Medicare Part A is zero cost. I'm going to go with that in a second. The standard premium for Part B is $170, $470. However, if you are on the lower income side of things, less than 24,000, you may be able to qualify for some state assistance that would pay for a portion or all of that for you. Or if you're blessed with a very high retirement income, there may be a little bit of an income-related monthly adjustment amount, and you see those categories there. Same thing for the prescription drugs. You may have to pay higher than the standard premium based on the income that you make. You may also get some extra help, but I can go over that on our individual consultation. So with Medicare Part A, this is the hospital portion. This covers the room and board for the hospital. So nurses saying hi to you, the doctor, the hospital bed, the food that they feed you. But there's a pretty hefty deductible. It's a $1,632 deductible. And that is a per hospital stay deductible. That is not an annual deductible. You only have to satisfy once. That is, if you go to the hospital, whether you're in there for one day all the way through 60 consecutive days, it's a $1,632 deductible. There's a per diem after that. It's pretty rare that people are in there for more than 60 consecutive days. So I don't have those numbers memorized, but it is in the more in-depth video. And then Medicare Part B, as in boys, all things medical. So this is all doctors, specialists, cast splints, x-ray surgery, ambulance, MRIs, lab work, blood work, occupational therapy, physical therapy, chemotherapy, any drugs that have been administered to you. Sure, forgetting a thing or two, but I hope you get the point. And with this, there's a pretty reasonable deductible. It's a $240 deductible. And then it's an 80-20 plan. Medicare covers 80, you would have to cover 20. Medicare Part C, or known as the Advantage plans, how these came about is if you had just Medicare A and B and you needed to get an MRI, you would have no idea how much that MRI is going to cost you until after you get that service rendered. You have no idea what the MRI place is going to bill Medicare. You have no idea what the Medicare is going to come back and approve. And you ultimately have no idea what the 20% would be until after you got it done. So these private companies went to the government and said, hey, I think we have a solve for this. Why doesn't Medicare pay us to take over as primary? And we'll have our clients sign a contract with them, and it tells you upfront exactly what you would be financially responsible for each and every service that is covered. Medicare Part C plans by law have to at least cover all of the Medicare A and B benefits. So it could be $0 for a primary care, $40 for a specialist, or $250 for an MRI. I'm just making up numbers. We'll go over it in, more precisely in our consultation, but that's kind of how those work. And then your prescription drug plans, they break down the drugs into 5 different tiers. You have your preferred generic, your non-preferred generic, your preferred brand name, your non-preferred brand name, and then your specialty drugs. Now, there's no Medicare Part D plan that's actually done through Medicare. They're all done through private companies, but they all have to kind of follow the Medicare standard. And that is where you have your deductible, then you have your initial coverage period. If you exceed that, you fall into the donut hole or the coverage gap. You used to have to pay 100% of the drug cost. Now you only have to pay 25% of the drug cost when you're there. And then if you ever reach over $8,000 worth of drugs for the calendar year, then you fall in the catastrophic coverage and you're 100% covered for the rest of the year. But when it comes to Medicare, you kind of have the 2 options. And so this is my kind of pros cons list of it. If you go with an Advantage plan, with that, there's a no or a very low additional premium. In fact, one of the trends is that they are actually paying a portion of that $174.70 for you. And then you just have to pay copay as you go to the doctor. These are all done through private companies, so they're network-based, and it is possible that they do require referrals. However, due to COVID, most companies got away from that. Usually you only have to, they didn't want you to go to the primary care doctor and risk exposure, and then go to the specialist and risk exposure again. So usually there is no referral requirement. But all of these plans have a max out of pocket. So what that is kind of like a stop loss. It's not a deductible. It's not an amount you have to pay for first. But throughout the year, as you pay copays, they kind of keep a ledger of that. And if something catastrophic happened where you racked up like $20 million worth of medical bills, there's a limit to how much you would have to pay out of your pocket. Now, there is no limit to how much the insurance company would have to pay, but there is a limit of how much you would have to pay. That's somewhere around $7,500 or so, usually can be much, much less depending on the state and the plans that are offered to you. Medicare Advantage plans usually include prescription drug plans. They don't always. So if you didn't get one in the past and you're not interested in taking any drugs, or you have the VA, or you have Indian Health Services, or some kind of other way of having that solved, you don't have to get one with that. And then with this, there's no dental, or this has the extras that offer dental and vision and gym memberships and over-the-counter items and hearing aids and all of that. And so with this, your estimated cost will be your Medicare Part B premium. You do have to pay that regardless if you go with the Advantage plan or the supplement. And then your Advantage premium, if there is any. Again, sometimes they do reduce that Medicare Part B premium for you. And then just whatever copays you pay for the year. And then the other option to go is to go with a supplement or a Medigap. Some call it a secondary plan. And with that, there is an additional premium that you would pay. However, there's no copays. Also, with Medicare being the primary, there's no referrals and there's no network whatsoever. And then, the plan that I generally offer if you're in a standardized plan state is the Plan G. If you're in a non-standardized plan state, looking at an A1 plan. And with that, this covers all of the 20%. The only out-of-pocket cost is going to be the Part B as in boy deductible and the premium that you pay for this plan. However, there's no prescription drug plan, so you do have to get a separate prescription drug plan. And then there's no extras usually. So sometimes you might be able to find a plan that covers gym membership, but there's no dental, vision, hearing aids, none of that kind of stuff is covered. So your estimated cost with the supplement is your Medicare Part B premium, plus your supplement premium, plus your prescription drug premium. So I just want to thank you guys so much for your time today. Really looking forward to doing our consultation, getting to know you and your needs better and trying to match your needs to a plan. Thank you so much, and God bless.